Paul, how are you?
How you doing, man? Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, thanks for joining me, man. You've been quite an inspiration. I've been watching your work since 2023, and you've for a lot of people who don't know who you are, you've battled cancer like 2 times. You're an absolute badass, and you always, and you're just cranking out. You never stepped away from the desk very long and kept sharing alpha with us. So for people who are just learning about you for the first time, tell us who you are and really quick how you got into crypto.
Oh, so my name is Paul, and I'm a cryptoholic. I got into crypto in 2017. This was after I beat cancer the first time, by the way. I started working as a mentor and coach at the company, and I always wanted to get into Bitcoin. Crypto, didn't know how. And the owner's brother-in-law actually was in crypto. So he just showed me how to buy my first Ethereum, first Bitcoin, fell in love with it, and then I just went all in. I decided I wanted to work in crypto because I saw the trend. So I cold called my way into CMO position of a company called Expertise in Poland, and I was working the industry ever since. Battled cancer a couple of times, like 3 times in total. Last time deciding that I'm not going to work C-suite anymore, or see too much stress.
Yeah.
And plus I couldn't work anyway. I was stranded at home after CAR T therapy. So I recreated myself and started providing coaching services for everyone, not just companies. Before that, I wrote a couple of books, several of them, half of which are in blockchain, most of them on the marketing and sales point of view for companies, because that's what I was doing. I was a trader and technical, and I used to teach trading and technical analysis actually for the Forex industry. Before that, I was just in sales and marketing, consumer psychology for over 25 years. So I'm kind of going back and forth with the story right now because I'm remembering it in glimpses, like in parts. And I did what you were doing, man. What you're doing now, interviewing everybody. I did that in the beginning. I decided to interview anybody who was anybody in crypto so I can become known in crypto. And I reached out to the big players like Andreas Antonopoulos, Roger Ver, John McAfee, Scott Stornetta, the father of blockchain. And I interviewed everybody. And then I took those interviews and compiled them into a book. Okay. That's just a thought for you. Maybe you want to, do something like that as well, or something along those lines. And that's basically how I got into crypto. So I've been advising companies, I've been working for companies, and now I'm just doing the YouTube thing and chilling, basically.
Yeah, right on. Oh, it's funny you say that. I started doing TA, and then I started talking to people and realized I'm a very social person. I actually just enjoyed it a lot, and I wanted to ask the questions I wanted to, because I would see interviews with people, but it wasn't what I wanted to ask. And I'm like, I want to know about this. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, because I think I can get to know people the way I want to. But cool, man. So you had a great experience. It looks like you got kind of like brought in by people you knew, which is very cool. You kind of didn't just get tossed in the deep end. And so
you get pulled in by someone you know, but then you're on your own. It's kind of weird. At some point when you really dive in, you tend to, like, everyone is left behind and they don't know what you're talking about. So it's kind of a lonely journey.
Yeah. It's lonely. In Poland, that's cool, man. Because I know you went to Poland again recently, so you have a good some good relationships up there. You like Poland?
Recently I went to Poland for NBX. It was an event which I covered as a media partner. Which is the best event in Europe, by the way. It's the biggest one. It's in Poland. It's in Warsaw. It's literally, they literally rent out movie theaters, and you have the different movie theaters with different parts for crypto. It's an amazing experience.
Awesome, man.
Then I went to Istanbul a couple of months ago for Istanbul Blockchain Week. And next week, or in 10 days, I'm going to Dubai for the Future Blockchain Summit. And then again back in Poland in March.
That's awesome. Yeah. I saw when you went to Poland, and that was cool. I think I saw a little bit of one of the episodes because I used to live in Warsaw before I moved down here. Yeah. Great town, man. Great town. Really underrated and exploding, just growing like crazy. So
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Now, I discovered you because I went long in January of 2023, and November, December, everybody was super bearish, and I'd just been researching, and I genuinely felt it was time to go in, and I still have the trades, and I think literally I went long Render and Bitcoin, and 2 days later, the market really started printing those green candles. I kind of got lucky how close I was, but there were I had very little support. Like, people said I was absolutely crazy. But then a few months later, I remember coming across some of your work, and I went, okay, this guy's smart. Let's see what he said about that era. And I went back and I realized you were on point about the cycles.
Oh, yeah.
Because I went through this phase where I started unfollowing so many people. And I'm like, I've just been getting bad alpha. I trust myself more, and I'm only going to follow people who have a sense of the cycles. And I felt like you did. And then I started following your work. And you've always been able to find have a good understanding of where the market is or where we are, regardless of FUD, regardless of what's the chatter or whatever the thing is at the time. So maybe we can just talk about the cycle. This has been a really weird cycle in just the sense that we did the high before the halving. So where do you think, and it's funny right now, we're just started war. Today's the 2nd of October, technically. And so this is a great time to just go, hey, so what's going on, man? What do you think now? Have your opinions changed about the cycle? And where do you see us going?
Well, no, because that's the thing. You're referring to when I called the bottom at 15.6K.
Yeah,
I called it months before it happened, right?
You did, yeah. You did. You had videos before saying
everyone to get at 16.7.
Yeah, everyone said 12 or 17. You were one of the only people who actually said 15 way before we even got anywhere near it. You beat everybody. Yeah.
And won the bet with Garrett Soloway. Everyone was making fun of me back then.
Like, everybody was. They're like, what's 15? That's a random number. And you were on it. You're like, no, that's where we're going.
I remember the exact words, 15 to 17K. I'm looking at 15.6. The 15.6 was pretty lucky, man. I'm telling you right now. The range was 15 to 17.
Yeah.
15.6. What I was trying to do is find the sweet spot where everyone's wrong. So you want to see where the professionals are wrong, and you want to see where the amateurs are wrong. So 20K was too easy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then 12K was just too low because there was too many professionals. We had to get the sweet spot. Yeah. The market always over exceeds or under moves what your expectations are. Right?
Yeah.
That and a whole bunch of other things. Anyway, that was good times. Anyway,
it was an amazing
so
call.
we did that.
Yeah.
But on this bull market, I don't know if you saw that, I called for Bitcoin to go up faster. And I called the dump on the NVIDIA event as well as the dump on the halving event. And then and I literally said—
I remember the halving one.
40%. I said 40%, but we only went down 20 towards 30%. And I said, it's not enough. We're going to have another dump.
Yeah.
And we got it. So I called I knew we were going to go up fast. And that was where— a year before that, I was saying I was also expecting a shorter bull market because we're going to go up faster.
Well, why did you think we were going up faster? Really quick.
Well, it was a whole bunch of things together. It was the fact that we had the elections. It was the fact that I can't remember my process exactly. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually tell you my process. But I can show you the videos where I was calling it. We can go back.
Yeah. I can even put some links down at the thing. Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't call it right from the beginning of the bull market that we're going to go up fast. It was a certain time and beyond where I realized it, probably with the ETFs and everything as well, right?
Okay.
And the thing was that was one of the indicators, just one, that I was calling for a possible shorter bull market, but I was 50-50, and I said I'll know more when the time comes. And I've been saying end of 2024, beginning 2025 will be the top of Bitcoin. Now, when I say top of Bitcoin, I don't mean that's the top, everything's going to go down. The top of Bitcoin might come in, everything might go up, then Bitcoin might go down, everything might go down a little bit, then Bitcoin will go up again, and it'll just play that range. But that's not 100%, just a theory, which now, after I saw the consolidation, the way we came down, we had enough time coming down, so that takes away from that scenario. So just for everybody out there panicking about the crypto factor saying the top's coming in the next few months, it's not a 100. It's not a given, but you have to have the strategy to be able to know what to do if it does happen, right? So you can never predict things 100%. Obviously, I got things wrong as well.
Yeah.
But you need to strategize around that event that this could happen. So what happens if it's a shorter bull market? Well, you want to be taking profits at certain levels, 84K being one of them, so 82 so you don't get front run. 82K, I would be taking profits. 98K, I would be taking profits because I expect Bitcoin to come back down at those levels. If not, at least at 100K. Now, you might tell me, Paul, okay, so it comes back down on those levels. We look at the charts, we see what's happening. Is there a bottoming pattern? Is it by the dip or is it not? And then you decide if you want to get back in on that trade. Now, what happens if you sell and Bitcoin shoots over 100K and keeps on going up? No problem. You took profit, go into lagging plays. Right? So you need to strategize around to protect yourself, but also make money without getting completely wrecked. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, I got a little sidetracked, but but basically that's what I'm looking at for this bull market. Now, according to the news you referred to earlier on, I hear a lot of influencers and crypto influencers calling for this is a black swan event. It is not a black swan event.
Right.
The black swan event is, it has to have three elements to it. Okay, number one, very rare and unpredictable in the sense that no one predicts it. All right, this event was not unpredictable. It's not the first time.
It's been building up.
Yeah, it's not the first time it happened though. It's not the first time rockets were shot over,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there was military everywhere. People were ready for it. Like it's something that was in the cards, right?
Yeah. They were announcing this. Yeah, it's been
definitely not a black swan event.
Definitely.
It did not have earth-shattering economical or financial, or geopolitical catastrophes yet. We had, it had,
Yes.
I mean, nothing barely moved. I mean, Bitcoin went down to 60K. So that's like any given Sunday for Bitcoin.
It's still in the range. Yeah.
It's still in the range, definitely. If you're talking about if it's a trend change, it's not. It won't change unless we go under 50K, 49K if you want to get a little bit more technical. And a black swan event, after the event happens, everybody in hindsight starts saying, oh, we should have seen this because we could have looked at this, and that just doesn't happen. So a black swan event, this is not a black swan event because just because some crypto bros couldn't predict it does not make it a black swan event. Sorry to burst people's bubbles out there. I hear a lot of influencers
they're
using
trying to get
that term.
clicks. Yeah.
And what's worse than that, and I heard some big people talk about this, like big YouTubers and crypto influencers say, oh, we're going to have a white swan event and everything's going to go up. So suddenly they associate a white swan with bullish news on crypto that's unexpected, and black swans, bad news. There's no such thing as a white swan event. Like, it's not a racial thing. Black is good, white is good. It's not a racial thing. Black swans are rare. White swans are everywhere. As a matter of fact, I believe Nouriel Roubini coined the phrase white swan event in 2000 something because of something that was predictable, but it was never used before that. So people saying white swan event, black swan event, please learn what it is.
I'm more concerned that we actually have a tremendous amount of bullish news, actually, and we're still making lower highs. I'm more concerned about that. That we should be ripping up with all the bullish news and whatever that is.
I'd be more worried if we were going up and ripping up without going back down and making support areas.
We've got no support made anywhere down below. So I mean, if we start falling, we're in trouble. But
we have some support. We have some support. 55K is a 50K psychological. You can always go psychological when there's no support in certain areas. And 50K held up pretty strongly. So did 55. I think 56K. if I remember off of my head.
So you don't see us breaking below. There's a lot of support there. Yeah, a lot of buy pressure. You don't think we're going to break below 50 until this bull runs over, huh?
Well, it's not a matter if you break under. I mean, if you watched my videos when we were around 57, 58K, I said we're going to wick down to 49K and bounce back up. And as long as we bounce back up, we're going to keep on going up. We did.
Yeah.
I didn't expect revisiting that area. I did not expect that.
Okay.
And then that's when I made a couple of videos warning that if we break 50K, and 49K becomes resistance, meaning we're not above it in a couple of days or a week at most, then we have to turn bearish until proven otherwise. But as long as we're above 49K, we'll be good. I mean, again, it's probably 48.80, 800 and whatever. But again, I like looking at round numbers because people like looking at round numbers. Usually people have 100 Solana, not 98.7. You know what I mean? They like that psychological aspect to it. So I consider them powerful numbers.
So what do you think about any major shifts and trends coming up for the rest of this cycle?
What do you mean?
Like, obviously, we had AI. Is that going to continue? We had gaming. And also, I'm a big fan of DeFi. Do you think interest in DeFi will come back? I know you're also someone who knows the Hart man, Richard Hart, and what he's doing in DeFi.
Of course. So towards the end of a bull run, there's interests everywhere. Everything goes up, right? But it was a no-brainer that AI and gaming would be the two narratives of this bull run, along with the Bitcoin ecosystem. I thought that the Cosmos chain would do better.
Yeah.
But at least AI, we got the AI, the gaming, and the Bitcoin narrative right. That was something I was screaming before as well. Like, it's going to be AI. I think the next bull market will be DePIN and RWA. So while those do well now, I think they're going to do better and become more of a narrative in the next bull market, simply because we're not ready for that infrastructure. Yes, great tech. Yes, powers decentralized gaming and cloud, but we're not ready for decentralized VPNs. Let's be honest here.
Right.
So yes, as a play, yes, as a hype sort of thing towards the end, or maybe when everything starts going up. But generally speaking, that's probably going to be the narrative for the next bull market. This one's going to be a continuation of trend. That's what usually happens. Like, people that are in and made money, they're expecting that. And AI being so powerful is still being the narrative, not just in crypto, but generally. There's no way why I don't see that taking off. And one of the reasons I see gaming taking off as well, and it being amplified by AI, is because of a simple concept called trend stacking. So trend stacking is what you do in business. It's what you do generally, is when you have a trend, you have a second trend, you stack them together, add your innovation on top. That's called trend stacking. Instagram is a product of trend stacking. Facebook is a product of trend stacking. But businesses think like this. So when you have a trend like AI, you would expect a lot of AI to be implemented in games, to be used to either hype the market as a reality or done because that's where everything is going. Either way, it's good for investors because they make money. And we've already seen what I was saying about mergers. We've already seen ASI, Fetch, Ocean, and Ajax, Singularity.net. I did not predict the particular merge, but I did say there were going to be merges of cryptocurrencies, just like you see companies, because that's the direction we're going now. The more we mature. As well as you saw not the first, but you see gamings getting AI like Fetch or ASI now, getting in partnerships with G Swift, for example, a gaming. This was a no-brainer. So both of them at some point are going to start going up, and one's going to compound the other, and that's going to be where everything is. Everything else will be dragged along with it. So yes, there'll be DeFi plays. Yes, there'll be other plays, but it's going to be like they'll go up a lot, but some of them are going to go up a lot like crazy. But over here, when it comes to AI and gaming, everything's going to pretty much go up.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So that's what we need to be looking at.
All right.
It's just easier. If you're an investor, you want to pick certain categories or certain segments so you can concentrate and learn so you can invest. Well, why not pick the narratives are here right now? I mean, you're seeing them doing better. You know what I mean?
Why do you think Ethereum's lagging right now? Because that's what's hurting our alts mostly, right?
Yeah, well, one of the things, yeah. So everyone's everyone's looking for speed. And
people are saying it's because Vitalik got a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's
and it wrecked everything.
Well, it's certainly, a woman can make a man or destroy a man. It's very true. But look, so everyone right now is looking for what's faster and what works easier. And the reason they're doing that is A, because it's easier to build on and get things done, obviously. Right. And B, that's what they think is important. But the faster something is, you're sacrificing certain aspects to that, like, for example, decentralization. Mm-hmm. So it's all a matter of people shifting because they think it's faster. They're thinking Ethereum is slow. They're thinking Ethereum is not good enough. It is, and it will make a comeback, but it'll probably make a slower comeback than expected, but then probably surprise everybody later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time you sacrifice speed or something, you have to sacrifice decentralization or something like that. You can't have everything. There's like a triangle where the more you lean one side, you lose from something else. It's just like that.
Yeah.
XRP is very, very fast. It's super fast, and it's extremely centralized. There's nothing to argue about that. Solana
you're very kind to the XRP communities.
You know what?
You have these funny videos. If you guys haven't seen it, they're great.
Well, I just have fun with them. Okay,
You're having fun with them. You're having fun with them. Yeah.
Because it's nothing wrong with XRP. I actually said if XRP ever breaks $1, it will probably re-challenge all-time highs, and we're looking at a $4 to $7 XRP.
It'll run,
When you see it's going to go to $10,000 per coin because Bitcoin did it. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. And I get, if you watch my channel, back in the day, I used to say market cap's not important. But there's a line in the sand. For Bitcoin to go, XRP to go to $10,000. If you want, we can do the math together real quick. But I'm sure you can do it. But it's and you tell them it needs a 9 trillion market cap, or something like that, and they're like, oh well, so what? It doesn't matter. It's inevitable. It doesn't matter. Well, it does if it's 9 times the GDP of the U.S. Right? There's certain or when they say 50,000, I think it's a quadrillion market cap. Yeah. That's 9 times the GDP of the world with all assets included, or something like that. Right? So, you have to be somewhat, okay, let's not get wrecked, because all these new people, they're going to think they're going to become millionaires or zillionaires overnight, which is not going to happen. That's another reason why I don't think it's going to get there. There's no way zillionaires are born overnight, like so many of them. So essentially, they're going to be holding. They're not going to sell, or at least take profits or take their initial investment out, and they're going to be broke for the rest of their life because of bad influencers. But I make fun of the XRP army because it's funny, but it's kind of funny. A joke. Funny. Yeah, it's kind of a joke.
Yeah. Speaking of Ethereum now, and you had a talk. You've talked to some really amazing people, like you were mentioning in the beginning. I saw you talk to McAfee's wife. You also did like a 3-hour stream with the Heartman, Richard Hart, when he first started Hex. a lot of time has gone. What is your opinion now on Hex? And then what do you think of Pulse Chain, this new layer 1 he's created? Because speaking of faster, cheaper, it certainly is faster and cheaper. Where do you see that going? Do you have any opinion about that?
Yes, lots. Because I like Richard Hart, by the way.
It looked like you were vibing with him.
I like him a lot. Regardless of whatever opinion people have of Richard Hart, he did, there's a few things you have to give him, okay? Number one, he did write books, and that's something I like. He was into self-help and everything. But he agreed to come onto my stream and to have me on his stream. So just out of appreciation, he didn't have to do that. And he didn't do just once. He did multiple times, right?
Oh, okay.
So, it's quite a few times he came on my channel, and I've been on his channel. And generally speaking, there's no denying he's an extremely smart man. We disagree on a few things.
Okay.
When it comes to Bitcoin and his views there, at least his changed views on Bitcoin, but we agree on a lot of things. Now, I said that Hex was a monster and will make people a lot of money, and it did. And I also was bullish and talked about Hex a couple of times in my early portfolio videos. But I always said that Hex is a bet on Richard Hart.
Okay.
If Richard Hart, and I said this, if anything ever happens to Richard, or he stops promoting, or he stops talking about it, the coin will inevitably go down a lot. At least at first. What's going to happen after, no one knows. All right?
Right.
And that's when I said I wasn't going to get any more Hex. That's when Hexicans got mad at me. I'm like, guys, okay, you have to understand I'm an investor and I'm a trader and this is my living. It's not like and it's like, all right, yeah, if you want to say that I put $100 or $500 in something, ride or die to the end. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But when you invest a lot more money in general, you tend to have to be more careful, and you have bigger strategy, right?
Yeah.
When you invest $50,000 in a coin, for example, I did put that into Hex, but when you invest $50,000 in a coin, well, guess what? If 5x is serious and you don't hodl to die, you take money out, right? You obviously. Now, anyway, you don't give the same advice to someone investing 100,000, someone investing 1,000. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So it sounds like what happened, as you said. I mean, there's obviously a lawsuit, SEC pressure.
It was expected, and I don't blame Richard Hart for having to vanish for a while, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Now, whether he scammed everyone or not, I have no idea. I can't know. I'm not that smart. What I do know is I appreciate him. I think he's a smart guy. I don't agree with the, it's up to you guys to now make it work. No, that's not me. I understand in a decentralized sort of way. I don't understand it in a sort of, he gives us the thing, now it's up to us. You need a leader, right? Richard Hart was a leader.
100%.
Maybe this happened too soon. Maybe if the SEC and everything didn't happen, this would have ran a little bit more. And even if he was stealing money and scamming people, everyone would still make money. Or at least a lot of people would still make money. I know I'm sounding a little bit, I don't know what the word is right now, but I'm trying to think of this from the outside, not like a Hexican, not like whatever, right? I'm trying to think of this from the outside.
I really respect your opinion, and so
And when I was asked by the community, because a lot of Hexicans on my channel, about my thoughts on Hex and Pulse Chain, I also said that Pulse Chain is probably a better bet right now than Hex.
Yeah.
Now, with Pulse Chain, it was always an experiment. And for people that don't like it when I say that, Richard Hart literally said it was an experiment on my channel.
Okay.
He said he didn't know what was going to happen. And that was a very, very good thing, to be honest with you, right? And it's very true. The problem that Pulse Chain has, it's not the speed and everything, and people, that doesn't matter. It's how easy somebody can enter and use it, and how simple it is, and how efficient it is. It is extremely hard when you don't have interfaces and UIs and somebody, oh, you have to download it and do it yourself. Even I don't do that. I can do it, but even I won't do that. That's not how you get users and stuff.
There's a lot of barriers right now, for sure.
There's too many barriers, and it needs a lot of promotion. And without Richard Hart, unfortunately, there is no promotion. And it's like, if he was taking profits and pushing it and talking about it, would be a whole different story. But right now, why would I go to Pulse Chain when everything runs very simply on Ethereum, on Solana, on anything else? There's liquidity; it just works, and I don't have the learning curve. Why should I make a bet on Pulse Chain? I'm sorry, it might be great, but there's a problem here. And a lot of people saying, "Whoa, you have to download yourself, do the work." Why would I do the work to make what? Right? So the problem is not the tech per se, and we don't know this, and we haven't stress tested in the sense that a lot of volume, like massive amounts of volume or anything like that. I'm not a developer or anything. I'm just making assumptions here. The problem is on a purely business point of view. How do you get people to board it? How do you get people on board?
100%. It's tough. It's like a la 2009, 2010 Bitcoin, where there's a lot of barriers right now.
Not the same thing, because Bitcoin didn't have no competition.
Didn't have competition.
Bitcoin was also a whole different thing. You're talking about a network. Bitcoin was a decentralized currency.
Yeah.
So when I look at Bitcoin, I look at Bitcoin as a hard sound money alternative, store of value, and most importantly, decentralized, or sufficiently decentralized, because nothing's fully decentralized. When I look at things like Pulse Chain, when I look at other chains, I see technology to build. I see dApps. I see different things like this, right?
Yeah.
Different solutions to different problems. So, I don't compare the two. I'll never say something's better than Bitcoin. For me, Bitcoin's here. Everything else is here. Not necessarily underneath it, but in a whole different area, if that makes sense.
I understand. So when he comes back, and this SEC pressure, obviously it could be listed, these barriers could drop down. Do you see a lot of potential once that happens? And obviously he's a very charismatic guy. He starts streaming again.
That's the other problem. That's why it hasn't worked when he left. See, it's not just Richard Hart is a very smart person and he invented it, he created it, whatever. He's very charismatic and knows how to draw people in. And believe me, he uses a lot of psychological triggers to do that. And that's great. That's awesome. I do that too.
Okay.
Right? So when he left, who's there to replace him to lead it? There's no one to talk to all these new people coming into crypto. He wasn't bashing Bitcoin because he hated Bitcoin. He was bashing Bitcoin to grab attention and for marketing reasons. He's not stupid. He knows the difference. He knows Bitcoin is very different, right?
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't. But that's a marketing strategy. I might not agree with it. I don't like it. But that's his own style. But who could be better than him? No one. No one had his audience. No one had his know-how. No one had his technical know-how. No one had his style, his charisma, nothing.
He's a unique guy. Yeah.
Right. 100%. So that's a problem when you don't have a company, quotation marks, and people to fill your shoes.
Yeah. Well, this was my thinking, and I got really into DeFi, especially after the shenanigans of the last bull run and all these, CeFi projects just destroyed people's lives, and there was so much bullshit. I mean, we know what those are. I got more interested in DeFi, thinking, okay, with regulation coming, with watching all these middlemen have all these corruption and bullshit. DeFi may become of big interest to a lot of people, and as certain narratives move people toward it, like regulation, et cetera. So my anticipation is that demand will shift toward it, where people will seek it out soon again. Do you have any thoughts on that? Or with regulation coming and everything?
It's up to the developers and people that develop to bring people into it without them even knowing they're in. So when you have a phone, you don't care what the tech behind the phone is. You care that it works. This is what people want. It just works.
It just works. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's up to the people to make it happen in a way that people will come in. It's very different. It's very different than Bitcoin in the sense that Bitcoin is still hard to understand, but it's very different in the sense that people will probably come first to Bitcoin. And to answer your question, sorry, I'm going a little bit all over the place. I'm thinking at the same time.
That's good. You can do it.
When you have,
he's a capable man.
We have the ETFs and everything that you mentioned earlier on.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably going to affect alt seasons as well and crypto over time, because here's the thing. So far in the 4-year cycle, when Bitcoin goes up, we sell, we buy alts, those amplify, we take profits in Bitcoin or Tether.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Well, you really think the people that buy the ETFs, like your dad, your granddad, your boomer, is going to sit there and chase alt season? He's just going to take profits. And when he takes profits, he's not going to do it in Tether. He's going to do it in US dollars. He's going to do it in his bank account.
Yeah.
So people saying, so we're going to see some volatility before we see that amazing rise in Bitcoin where it gets to the point that there's no volatility, which will happen eventually. I think it's going to be late. I don't think it's going to be too early. I think we're going to get some massive crashes once people start taking money out of crypto as a whole. It's not even in crypto anymore. It's going to affect cycles. How it's going to affect, I have no idea. Maybe it's a shorter bull market. Maybe it's a longer one, right? We don't know. Maybe altcoins will start acting like penny stocks, and everything kind of shifts towards that area with regulations and so on. So what happens with Pulse Chain? Do we have enough time to make it work? The tech's there. If Richard Hart comes back tomorrow, maybe. But if it's too late, the perfect timing, just like in real estate, is location. A lot of things is timing.
Yeah. So you're saying it may miss this bull run is kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah.
I think it will miss this bull run.
Okay.
And I hate to say it. Look, I've sacrificed. I'm staking Hex. I've sacrificed. I've Pulse X, Pulse Chain. It will probably miss or not do as much as people expected. Now, that's not to say, hey, exit all markets, sell your position. I'm not saying that. I could be wrong. You never know what happens. Yeah. But don't irresponsibly dollar cost average everything into that only. Make sure you diversify just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously, green candles bring everybody in. Bitcoin's had a lot of green candles. With Pulse Chain, same thing. I suppose green candles get everybody interested very quickly. Are you familiar with the project? Okay, obviously, the stablecoin fantasy, a decentralized stablecoin, or algorithmic stablecoin fantasy. This is our. What do you think about the P copy of stablecoins on Pulse Chain? You've probably heard of the DAI copy.
I heard about
pDAI.
it. I heard about it. I'm not aware.
I
don't know much about it. I don't know much about it at all. I gotta admit that I did not get into it because I was focusing on other things. But why? There's a state. I can't answer something I don't know about.
Okay.
But stable coins. Everything's got to do with liquidity. If it has liquidity and it's pegged, and even if it is, you have to understand things go wrong. It's very hard to trust something without proof of concept. I guess that means, Pulse Chain might have its day in the future where people ignore it. And in the future, sometimes it gets proof of, because think about it, you need proof of, you need proof of time in the market, right?
That's true. People need to see it and trust it. And
with Richard Hart being controversial but not being here to be controversial, things slow down. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. But this copy, it's been collateralized to some point. Apparently, we've got some evidence that keys that might belong to the Hartman have tested it. They've minted some and then shut down that feature, and that he is behind this. And Pulse Chain will be used to collateralize it. That's the that's the hope, or that's the promise, the premise here. And it's done quite a run so far, and obviously it's on its way to $1. And if this were to peg, this would be real DeFi. Is that something worth being part of, or would you just treat it as a meme? And
when it pegs, how long will it stay pegged? And then I want to hear Richard Hart explain why it will stay pegged, because I don't know if you know what I mean. I would like it to see it happen, because right now it's not pegged.
No. It's got a long way to go. Right.
And we've had algorithmic stable coins before. They pretty much failed. We'll see. We don't know. Again, I'll use Richard Hart's words, and I'll add something to it.
Okay.
Pulse chain is a great experiment, and me personally, I would even call it exciting. So
it's exciting. That's cool.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. So DeFi, would you say Pulse chain's the experiment, or just DeFi? Still, anybody trying DeFi is the experiment now. So,
well, also you have to also think, why would we need DeFi on Pulse chain, for example? I'm just thinking out loud. When there's already DeFi on other chains, like what differentiates it?
Like what DeFi on another chain do you like? Like, do you like what they're doing? Let's, for example, give me an example.
Well, anything on DeFi, first of all, it's basically already existed in CeFi, right? So in TradFi, in traditional finance, they just do it and they just put it onto decentralized sort of way.
Yeah.
So decentralized finance, let's be quite honest, other than restaking and liquid staking and stuff like that, and getting interests, it's all a profit game, man. Most of that shit doesn't work or won't continue to work.
Okay.
So the thing with blockchain is we haven't seen that .com bubble yet. Everyone keeps on saying it's going to come, and it never comes. Or when it does come, it just keeps on going up. Most of this stuff won't work at the end of the day, right? And it can't work, right?
It can't.
Why? And that's when we're going to start.
Does that have more to do with stable coins and liquidity?
Well, yeah, and that's also, we're going to see some coins do very well, even more. Like at some point, like, okay, Bitcoin's going up, it's going up. It gets to 100K, 150K, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what's to push it over that? At some point, if everything's like everywhere, you're not going to be able to push it up. But if everything becomes less and compounded and a few good projects do well, those will go up and those will go crazy. So Bitcoin will go to 1 million, 2 million, whatever. Pulse chain will go whatever survives.
Yeah.
And that's pretty what happened with the .com bubble. Like Amazon, for example, right now is where it is. Microsoft is where it is, and so on. So there's a few outliers. But in the early days, everything was going up like crazy. It was kind of like what was going on with crypto.
Yeah.
So it's a very peculiar. Why Pulse chain? It's a liquidity thing. Okay, there's a barrier to get in. Not a good thing.
Fair enough.
Who's using DeFi? Crypto bros. And why are we using it? What's the use case? To make money.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's what Richard Hart always said. Turns out is right. It's to make money.
It's all.
So if you have one chain that works and gets more adoption and more noobs in, means you can make more money in. Why would you go somewhere else?
I think part of it is the idea that thinking ahead, shining the light forward, understanding that your stable coins and your on-ramps and off-ramps are about to be heavily controlled, which I think is coming. I think maybe the end of this bull run could be Tether finally being broken or fudded or actually coming apart so that some regulatory body can step in and try to take over, which they already are controlling Tether, some 3-letter agencies possibly, right?
Right, but if that happens, everything's going to move to Bitcoin.
Yeah, you just moved to Bitcoin, right? Well, here's the problem now too, because, and this we can segue into this too. What are your thoughts now about was it Coinbase and creating paper Bitcoin for BlackRock to short, for their traders to short off market, and how much control do they have? Is it we don't know how much control they're taking from even entities we can't see yet, right?
It's not just about control. Like if I go to,
isn't it about control though? Isn't it all about control?
So wait, okay. Let me give you another example, right?
Okay.
I'll give you an example with gold, and then I'll give you an example with Bitcoin, so you understand. Do you buy gold? Do you have gold?
No, just tiny little bits of jewelry. That's it.
All right. Well, gold always goes by weight.
Yeah.
There's a certain coin, the British lira, right? That's gold. It's got a certain type of gold, whatever, and everybody knows it. There's a lot of them out there. But the thing with that gold is that you can go to any shop down the street and they'll give you the price of it because they know what it is. It's easily tested. They know it's a pound. They'll give you the money for it, and that's it. No questions asked most of the time. If I go to exchange a cryptocurrency to my dealer, I sound like a drug addict, I will go to him. I will tell him, hey, man, I got Bitcoin, I got Tether, I got whatever. Exchange it for me.
Okay.
Always open to doing Bitcoin, always open to doing Tether, always sometimes open to doing Ethereum, giving me the money, keeping the commission, right? If I tell him I have stable coins on Pulse Chain, he'll laugh at me. Right now.
Yeah.
That might change in the future.
Yeah.
All right? But right now, he'd laugh at me. And that goes for most cryptocurrencies in general. Even if he gets it, he'll probably make it either Bitcoin or a stable coin. Probably Tether again.
Yes.
And there's a reason for this. It's that you have sound hard money elements. So if you're a Bitcoiner, you want sound hard money, you want an alternative money, you want to control your money. But at the same time, you know that Bitcoin, if everything goes to shit, will probably come back because it's come back multiple times over 15 years. So it's got proof of concept.
Okay.
You need time for something to get proof of concept. If you really think about it, certain coins that came out, we never trusted them in the beginning, and now they're doing okay. But still, we know that in the bear market, everything will go down to shit. Bitcoin will stay up, at least more than everything else, right? So that's the thing with Bitcoin. It's not just about it being Bitcoin. It's there's a certain reason you hold Bitcoin. Another thing, it's always liquidity. You can always sell it, just like I said. I have a friend.
Liquid. Yeah,
I have a friend, he has 300 Bitcoin.
Okay.
And the reason he has 300 Bitcoin, he doesn't care if the price goes back up and down. He's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
The reason is he can always have it and banks can't touch it, whatever, and he knows that it will always be worth a Bitcoin. And even if he has to sell it short, even if he has to sell it high, he knows that he has control of his money and the banks can't take it, they can't close, whatever. If you live in Greece or Cyprus like I do, you know what happened at the banks. They took everyone's money. Yeah. So it's and a lot of people like attack Bitcoin. Oh, but it's going up. Yeah, but if you think about it, countries like Venezuela and Argentina, actually the volatility of Bitcoin is nothing. They would much rather have Bitcoin than their currency. So Bitcoin's a different monster, if you will. So stable coins, let's say Tether. If Tether, something happens to Tether, everything will instantly become Bitcoin. It will not become US dollars. Everyone's not going to exit the market because you got a whole bunch of people from China with Tether overseas. The last thing they're going to want to do is bring their Tether into China or their money into China and go to jail. They'll just make it into Bitcoin. It's their only safe option, if you will, if they want to sustain some of that money and possibly go back up. So it's very different.
If a Tether threat became relevant and also Bitcoin was crashing for whatever reason, people would still just go into Bitcoin no matter what.
They might have no choice. If you're in China, what are you going to do? Bring it back to your bank?
No.
What are you going to do? Put it in XRP?
That's an option. That is a viable option. It's going to be the world reserve currency, Paul.
And you're not going to put it in Pulse Chain. Or anything on Pulse Chain, or any stablecoin on Pulse Chain. You're just not. So this is why Bitcoin is what it is. Now, I'm sounding like a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not. I'm just
for a second. Yeah.
Sorry?
For a second, yeah.
Right. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm a shitcoin minimalist. There's a difference. Okay, I still have Bitcoins.
But, I mean, performance-wise, Bitcoin hasn't done so great since 2017.
Really?
Okay, 2021. Yeah, I mean, it ran if you got 4K to 69K. Okay.
That was nothing.
That's a good run. It's peanuts.
Peanuts, my friend, peanuts. Well, it's also the anti-inflationary aspect of it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Let me see if I can explain to you or to your viewers. You obviously know this, right? What is money? What is currency, right? Because back in the day, we used to use seashells and rocks. And people, they make fun of this, but they don't understand how well that actually worked and why it worked. So back when forgive me if I don't remember the countries and the details here, but back when they had shells as currency, these shells weren't like your typical shells where you would go to the beach and just pick them up over. They were kind of rare. These tribes would be inland, far away from oceans. These shells would be very hard to get and whatever. So they were very rare. So they were scarce, and that's why they were acted like money. They represented money, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when traders started coming in and discovered these tribes, and they came with gold and everything, and these people said, well, we don't care about gold. Well, we use seashells. That was a dream for them, because they had the technology and everything, and they bought massive amounts of shells and bought whatever they want, because that's what the tribes wanted to trade in. Right? Well, what happened? They caused inflation. Because when something is difficult, when you suddenly have some shells that are worth 10,000 whatever, and then you bring a whole bunch of shells, and it becomes easy to get those shells, whether someone brings them from outside or your technology advances to the point where it's easy to get them, value goes down, right? Just like the rocks, all right? Now, rocks, they didn't have just one little rock and whatever, and they just, this is worth so much. No, they had like a big ball, like a big rock that couldn't move in the middle of the village. And they had smaller rocks representing that rock, right?
Okay.
Again, though, as technology got better and better and it was easier to get this caused inflation, so to speak. And there was a problem with it. But this lasts for thousands of years. Well, that's why mining is so good when it comes to Bitcoin and proof of work. Because if it becomes too easy, the value will go down. This is why gold and silver moves. Like gold, whenever it goes up, it becomes worth it to mine more gold. But you have no idea how expensive it is to actually mine this gold.
Right.
So once the price if the price goes down, it's not worth mining gold anymore. So it kind of like fixes itself. But with silver, it's a lot easier. So why isn't silver going up like crazy? Well, because everyone can simply mine it, it's a lot easier. So that it's a lot of faster corrections, let's say.
Okay.
At least this is some of the reasons. So when it comes to Bitcoin, there's proof of work, and it's hard to mine, it's expensive to mine, and it gets harder. That's not a problem with it. Like a lot of people go, it's a dinosaur. No, that is a feature.
Yeah.
It needs to be that is one of the features of hard, sound money.
It's hard to get,
right?
Yeah.
And to go back to the rock, when you have a Bitcoin standard, You don't walk around with one Bitcoin and trying to buy coffee with your Bitcoin and you can't because it's slow. No, you have a Bitcoin and you have a representation of Bitcoin like the Lightning Network and you shop like that. Now, whether the Lightning Network works or will not, or will be something else, doesn't matter. But just like when we had the gold standard, we didn't walk around with gold coins in our pockets. We had banknotes and the gold was in the bank.
I understand. So you're thinking we're evolving to that sort of thing. Even Lightning becomes something else, whatever. But it's going to be some version of that.
So. It should. I mean, that's why Bitcoin's so important. So comparing it with other networks or blockchains is just not. It just doesn't make sense. It has to be proof of work. It has to be expensive. It has to be. It's perfect as it is now.
So you think,
would you build on Bitcoin? Would you build on Bitcoin? No. Would you do dApps on Bitcoin? No. It's expensive and it's not worth it. And even with Taproot, that was a mistake.
Yeah,
I mean, they put Taproot for other reasons, and then somebody realized they can do runes and so on it.
Yeah.
And then you had stamps. And SRC20 tokens, that was actually in the UTXO of Bitcoin, so that's forever. That's a bit different, but it doesn't have the capabilities that other blockchains have because it's not centralized. It has to be fast. You need centralization if you want something to work and fix it fast.
Okay.
Right? Because you can push a few buttons and fix it if something goes wrong, or if you need to take it in a different direction. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Yeah, you have to file a thing, you have to be credible, file a thing, then they have to have consensus and everything goes so slowly. But that's a good thing of it. That's why it's sound hard money and nothing else.
So you think Michael Saylor is a genius? He's a genius.
I think he's a genius, yes. I think it might, definitely. You can't take somebody that's that successful and say he was dumb. For him to do that, he realized something with such conviction, going all in. He's genius, right?
Okay.
So was Richard Hart. He when he did Hex and everything, that was a genius idea. It's a shame what happened. Whether he was using that funds to buy shit and buy Gucci, who gives a shit? Everyone does, right? Like I would. If you make it, he's slaved away making money, obviously making this happen. Obviously, he's going to get rewards. There's nothing wrong with that. Really, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's not the whole supply. Obviously, you don't run for everyone. That's a different story.
Right.
But Michael Saylor definitely is a genius. And I encourage everybody, if you want to know about crypto, if you want to learn DeFi, and you want to understand sound hard money, read the Bitcoin standard. I'm not telling you to become a Bitcoin maxi, but it will also tell you how money works much better than I do. And it will explain it to you. And generally in your life, if you want to make something, you need to learn everything about it.
Okay.
Right? So if you want to build a nice body in gym, you have to learn your diet, you have to learn your exercise, you have to learn a whole bunch of things. If you want to learn how to make money, well, you have to learn about money, the history of money, fiat. What is it? How does it work?
Yeah. So, would you say you're a libertarian in that sense?
I don't do politics at all. I'm Greek, so I don't care. I'm definitely a capitalist. But I have social. I have some social, not demands. That's not the right word I'm looking for here. I like socialism when it comes to hospitals and school and stuff like that. I'm a capitalist for most of everything else. We haven't really seen capitalism. We have crony capitalism. We don't really have capitalism. But politically, I really don't care or side with anybody. Obviously, I like Donald Trump more. I have his books up there.
Yeah. His books are great. Really quick. I don't know how much time we have. I want to ask you this: are we being naive as people in crypto, or people that believe in sound money, and are we underestimating the powers that be? Do you ever worry about that? Does that ever keep you up?
The powers of?
Yeah, obviously we're infringing on people who've had a monopoly on money for a very long time, possibly thousands of years, or at least, in our modern times, about 100 years. We are 100% stepping on their feet. What concerns you in that way, or do you not care at all? I know there's Bitcoin maxis I've talked to that are just like, obviously Michael Saylor being one. He's just this is going to happen. Nayib Bukele, God bless him, he's done amazing things. But are we underestimating and being naive to not think they have some plan, or they're going to retaliate, or they're going to try to rain on our parade or slow us down?
Sector by sector. Let's try and answer. Let's try and think of this in a bigger picture. Let's do a thought process here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take first of all, what can they regulate, what they can't regulate, because there's a different thing saying I'm going to regulate something, and there's a different actually doing it and implementing it.
Okay.
AI, they're regulating it. They're regulated in Europe. Right? DARPA and shit like that. What happened? Everybody with the iPhone 16 in Europe right now can't utilize AI. So that's why I did an upgrade, for example. So they're going to be, when you hear a lot of times when people say, well, if you're not in crypto, everyone's going to outpace you. And you're like, oh, why would a country give a shit? Well, they do, because look at Europe. It's going to stay behind competition while everyone else is in front. It becomes third world almost. So they have to change it. They have to find solutions for that. They can regulate AI, and they can regulate almost any cryptocurrency and blockchain because they have CEOs. Right? So they have CEOs. They have teams. As long as there's somebody that you can get, you saw what happened with Telegram, you saw what happened with your heart, you saw what happened with everybody.
Yeah, they go after you.
It is, and it isn't decentralized. Even if they don't destroy it, they can make it so painful that everyone will forget it. When it comes to Bitcoin, they really can't do anything. What are they going to do? Buy all the Bitcoin, do a 51% attack, split the chain? Okay, fine. And then everybody else votes which is the real Bitcoin and kick them out.
Yeah.
Right? There's 16,000, I think, nodes around the world, and those are not even the hidden ones, because there's also hidden ones.
Okay.
So you really can't do much with that. And if you do that and somebody doesn't have Bitcoin in one country, guess what? The other countries get rich. Look at El Salvador. Right? So how are you going to fight it? Yes, they can confiscate it if they know where it is and you tell them. They did that with gold. Right? They confiscated everybody's gold in the U.S. I think it was Nixon.
1930s? Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
They can't really do that with Bitcoin unless you're a muppet. So they can regulate it, and that can help, and that can also set back. But at the end of the day, that will also help the process of a few companies doing well or a few blockchains doing well and everything else not. At some point, they'll become so insignificant that these chains will do well and they'll become the norm. These will be insignificant, but then you'll have little tiny bull runs in between them because people will start going over there before history repeats itself later on in the future. So maybe we just get like a never-ending cycle of regulating things. And I mean, they're not regulating meme coins right now. Maybe the next alt season is meme coins only in the future.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's very, very hard to predict this. What I do know, there's too many people involved, and I've interviewed people that were in the U.S., like former U.S. Senates, and so on. They're all holding Bitcoin and crypto, and they want Bitcoin and crypto. So let's say this coming elections, the worst happens for crypto, and Kamala comes out, and it's blah 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 and whatever. Well, at some point that's going to change. Right? I mean, 8 years, whatever, someone else is going to come out, whatever.
Right.
So I don't think you can completely kill it off. You can make it difficult.
Yeah.
But if you do, what about the countries that won't? It's a very weird sort of, all innovation is going to leave that country, go to other countries, and then you're going to be a setback, and then you're going to lose money. And it's just a mess. So it's never going to completely go away. So we're not being naive. We caught it early. We're in it earlier than anybody else. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it won't go up forever. but we can make a lot out of it. And if you're learning about it, learning how to use DeFi, to come back to that, it also learns you think and process things. So it puts you ahead in the world generally. Because if you look at the average crypto Joe, he's smarter than most people out there that don't know what crypto is, that don't even know how to use a phone other than to do TikTok. So that's all education. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is when you learn something like a technology, like DeFi, like whatever, you're learning to learn. Like you put your process. I'm learning to learn how to learn. So I know this, now it's easier for me to understand this, it's easier for me to do that. And that brings you up as a person in whole. It advances you to the next level, if you will, right? So when you read, you don't just learn what you're reading, you're learning how to read better as well. And now you understand other things as well, or a different language, same thing, right? So yeah, I'm not sure I'm articulating myself perfectly today, but these are just brainstorming.
Yeah. No, this is good, man. We're riffing. So to people who are holding assets, and there's a lot of FUD right now. We got a possible, this continuation of the war, expansion of it. We've got in America, the ports are all on strike. We've got a psychopath that could become president soon. Anything we should be worried about, you think? Or do you think, no, we just follow this? You just follow the cycle, right?
Everything's fine. So you're going to like this. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Bitcoin's holding up so far.
Yeah, it is.
It's in range. So who cares about everything else? One. Right, two. Right. I'm going to give the most controversial advice you probably ever heard, and I do a lot of this. Invest more than you're willing to lose. Why? Why am I saying that? This is a chance to make life-changing, a huge. It's maybe your only chance to ever make anything substantial, especially if you're a 9-to-5 job. It may be your only chance to make a difference and actually get money, start that business, pay off those loans, pay off that debt, whatever. And when you tell people to never invest more than they're willing to lose, they don't understand what that means. Because most people will make, $2,000 a month, $1,500, depends what country you're on, $600, whatever. Then after they pay all their bills, they have money left over. And they're like, okay, I have 200 euros left over or $200. Let me put $20 in crypto or 30. And then they spend everything on coffee, going out, alcohol, partying, fucking movies, I don't know, whatever sex orgies, whatever tickles your pickle, right? And guess what?
Freak offs at Diddy's house, yeah.
Right, and then you're not investing as much as you could. So, but if you were investing more than that, you'll do yourself better.
Yeah.
You're investing more than you're willing to lose. Don't go out every day. Don't go get drunk. Put that money in crypto. If you have a gambling problem, if you like to gamble like I used to, put that money in crypto, right? Invest more than you're willing to lose because you don't understand the concept of what that is. Now, let's face it, if you have money, it's not like you're going to hear me say invest more than you're willing to lose and go put 100,000 in crypto. You're not going to do that. Yeah, most people put like 1,000, 500, and then maybe dollar cost average over time, right? And it takes a few cycles for them to start investing heavily. Well, if you're putting 20 euros a month or a week or whatever, $50 a month, whatever, fine, okay, you invested like what? 600, 700, whatever dollars in a year. You'll make 5,000 on a nice 5-6x. Awesome. Life-changing? No. But if you put that $200-$300 and you actually sacrifice and you sell shit that you don't need in your house, which I've done, by the way, old coins, whatever you want, and just put that in crypto.
Yeah.
You put $200-$300 over a year, that could actually make 15,000, 20,000. That could actually make you start a business. That could actually make a difference. So you need to start doing that because the only chance. Now, saying that make sure you have a portfolio set up correctly. Make sure you have your high caps, mid caps, low caps, right? You have your Bitcoin, you have your, let me correct myself, don't put Bitcoin in. You have your Solana, you have your Pulse, whatever, as a high-risk play. It is a high-risk play, but that's a good high-risk play. You have your Chainlink, whatever, your ChainGPT. But then what you do, if you have 2,500 here, you have another 2,500 in Bitcoin. If everything over here goes to shit, goes to zero, you still have that 2,500 in Bitcoin. That will probably get a 2-3x. Oh my God, what's the big deal? Well, you get your money back at the very least, and then some. Yeah. That's the power of Bitcoin, is the sustainability of it. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, but Bitcoin can only do 2-3x. Why should I do that? I could do 20x in meme coins. When was the last time you did it?
Yeah.
But if you have the same amount in Bitcoin, even if this all goes to shit, your Bitcoin will make your money back, especially now. It will 2-3x at least. And if it doesn't matter. We'll do it in the next cycle. You get your money back. Use it as a guarantee. That's a store of value.
Right. Got you. Yeah.
And then
the fact that it's becoming more stable is a good thing right now for us. The price is becoming more stable.
Right now, we're looking at Bitcoin doing 2-3x's or 2-5x's or whatever pretty easily, depending on when you get in the market. You can use it as a hedge to make sure if this all goes down, if you make the wrong picks, then your Bitcoin will give your money back and then some. Whilst if you get good picks and they do 20, 30, 100x, great, your Bitcoin won't stop you. So when you invest in crypto, I'm trying to say is make two rows, put Bitcoin on one side, then whatever you want to invest in on the other. If you're wrong, you still have your Bitcoin. If you're right, awesome.
Some people say that this cycle, Bitcoin may only go 80, 85, 90K. What do you say to those people?
That's my first level to take profit, which I was saying for a while now, over a year.
Yeah.
What I would say is take profits. That does not mean exit all markets. It does not mean sell everything. That means take profit in your initial investment out. Wait for it to go down, and then listen to great channels like SAINTwolf and so on, and see if that's a buying opportunity or we're in the bear market. So it's more of a timing rather than a price. Yeah. We'll see what happens, and then we'll see if you buy back or if you've exited with profit at the very least.
Okay, cool. So, what's as we lead out really quick? You think Kamala or Trump?
The first time I said Trump, he actually
not
won.
Your hope, but what do you think's going to happen?
Well, the first time I said Trump, everyone made fun of me again, and he actually won. That's what I'm saying. I actually said it before.
Got you.
As soon as I heard him running, I knew it. I was making videos at the time. People were making fun of Trump and his handshake. And I was explaining his handshake. I think I was the first to ever explain it because I had another channel because I talk about sales and marketing.
Oh, okay.
Here, let me just show you. This is actually quite. I hope people are interested in this. When you shake hands, you shake like this. You shake straight. That's equal. If you put your palm on top, you take control. If you have your palm underneath, you're giving control. You're weak. All right. So a lot of times, CEOs and so on, you can tell what they do when they're living by their handshake. And what people will try is if you overpalm them, they will take a step forward and it will naturally shift their hand to be in the position of power. Okay? Same thing happens in pictures when you're on TV. When Kennedy was it Nixon? Kennedy against Nixon, when it was televised, he won because of his body language. If you look at the polls, everybody that heard the speech on radio said that Nixon won. Everybody that saw it on TV said that Kennedy won because he had that experience on TV, body language. He made sure he was on top. He made sure he was on the right side, different tricks of the trade, right? Now, when Trump was shaking people's hand and they overpalmed him, what he used to do is bring him in.
Yeah.
And he'd bring them in and grab their shoulder in a friendly way, but it would make him look weak and unstable and put him in control. So anybody that would try to overpalm, he would pull in. And that became his signature move. If you give your hand like this and he pulls you in, it doesn't look that bad. But if you overpalm him and he does it and he brings you in, it will make you lose your balance and he will have the position of power. So he used to do, and I saw that from the beginning. I knew, and the way he talks, the way he repeats things, it's literally a strategy. Mm-hmm. The way he speaks simple, all this for everyone to understand.
Yeah. I think smart. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was great.
He's a genius and a master at this.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. And I think, okay, if I have to place a bet, it's funny because I was asked on ATB around the blockchain, and I said that Kennedy might actually win at that point. But Kennedy now, he left the party and he went solo. I'm like, oh shit. And now he joined Trump's, which is a good thing. So I'm still going to say Trump. I'm still going to say Trump. And maybe I'm biased and maybe maybe it's my hopeness coming out, but I'm hoping, I'm really hoping Trump.
Yeah. Me too, for the sake of the planet and people's sanity. But we'll see. So anything else we need to keep abreast of as we move forward? Anything else you think, like, to put in our heads that you think, hey, you guys need to focus on this, and this?
Yeah.
Watching this.
I'm going to stress this, and not for the reasons you think.
Okay.
Learn about Bitcoin, not so you can learn about crypto, not because Bitcoin's all that, but so you can learn about money. So you can learn how money works and fiat works. It's very important. Study the greats or the people before you, like you would do studying leaders of the world and everything, or firsts of something. That's why you want to look at Bitcoin. And yes, have a diversified portfolio. Obviously, you want to try and make as much profit as possible. Keep gaming in your sights. When it comes to Pulse Chain, when it comes to Hex, keep it as an experiment. That does not mean don't invest in it. It might surprise you one day. But try, at the end of the day, if you need to make money, which everyone does, try to accept that you might be wrong. And I might be wrong. I'm holding Pulse. I'm holding Hex. Be careful.
Yeah,
I'm not saying don't do that.
Right.
But at least for this bull market, with what's happening, try and be a little bit more open-minded is what I'm saying.
Do you think they're going to just give him a fine, or do you think he's going to beat the SEC? I mean, he's going at them.
I don't know the laws. I'm on his side, man, but I don't know how shit works. I don't know, when it comes to American law, I'm in Europe. Yeah. When it comes to the SEC, I think the SEC losing a bunch of cases is a good thing. That might be a plus for Richard. I really like and respect Richard. I really do. And it's hard because I have Hexicans hate me and also have people that hate me because I'm not trying to be politically correct being in the middle or anything. I'm literally like, I don't know how to explain it. It's weird.
I always thought you were quite unbiased, which is why I
am unbiased, but I like Richard Hart. But so I do like the concepts and everything, but I have to be unbiased. But yeah, as I said, hopefully he'll win. I hope he does. But always, okay, I'll leave with this here. We'll do this. Always take profits. All this time in the market, and the longer the time in the market, this is all bullcrap unless you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
More time in the market, especially in crypto, means more risk. I used to say this as well. People used to hate me for that. I'm like, take profits on Hex. They almost shot me if they could. But you see what happens. The more time in crypto, especially, the more risk there is.
Yeah. Of course. It's very risky. Taking profits is the best advice you can get. No one knows what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Paul, I forgot to ask you something really quick. I know we're going to run. Just somebody said this to me, and somebody said this to me, and it freaked me out a little bit. And I want to run it by you. I didn't think I was going to ask it, but I think I should. I haven't actually told anybody this yet. I haven't even made a video about it. So somebody I talked to, I think they're a coder. They're kind of like in the shadows a little bit, but they're very knowledgeable. They're very smart person. They said to me that you need to be ready because in the Congress they voted on the crypto bill, whatever. And come this February 2025, they're going to make most crypto illegal and go after already the carrying, what do they call it, the possession of it. Make it illegal. And they're going to go after at February 2025. They said that they think this is coming that fast in the regulation. Have you heard about this?
No, but that's not going to work that easily.
They really freaked me out a little bit.
If Trump comes out, I don't think that's the case at all.
No, they said it's already passed. The bill's already passed.
Does that mean they're going to act on it?
That's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Also, it might be certain cryptocurrencies. There might be safeguards in place and so on. It all depends. It really depends who's going to win.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Let's say they do that again. Companies will leave the States. Cryptos will leave the States. Dubai is going to get richer.
That's true.
mean, do they really want that? I don't know. Maybe if they're Muppets, yes. So if Muppets
they're
win,
Muppets.
Then,
They're Muppets.
Right.
We should just assume they are Muppets.
Yeah. I wouldn't know how to come, but it's never, just like markets never either over exceed or usually, okay, things are usually a lot worse or a lot less severe than what they seem, and it's usually the less severe.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So when I first heard I had cancer, I freaked out. I thought it was a death sentence.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But then I looked at it logically. And when I was going through it, and I had the chemotherapy, and it was, chemotherapy is no joke, it's no picnic, and bone marrow transplant. It wasn't as bad as it was in the movies. Like, yes, I looked like shit, but I had no eyebrows. Yes, I was weak and everything, but I had my labs and we were going out. And yes, my immune system was supposed to go out the house, but yes, we were going out. I was careful. I was wearing a mask before the epidemic. If you have problems with immunotherapy, you generally do. And I was taking it off. I wasn't wearing, only when I was in closed spaces. This was before again. It made sense and it worked. That everything, it wasn't as bad. So even if this is passed and this happens, believe me, it's either not as bad or a lot worse. So you have to think, is it possible for it to be a lot worse? Probably not than what he's saying. So it's probably going to be less severe. Okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's three sides to a coin, right? There's the heads, there's the tails, and there's the edge.
Yeah.
And you need to stand on the edge and look at all three sides, including yours.
Yeah.
And that's
with timing. With that timing could time up with what you were saying earlier in our conversation about the run. This run could be end of this year, or beginning of 2025. So it does also time up a little bit with what they said. I'm not like a guy who just hears one thing and freaks out, but you're the first person to bring it up.
It wasn't part of my analysis. It was not part of my analysis, so I can't.
Okay.
It would be very lucky. Like if somebody said, "Oh shit,"
you're saying regulation wasn't the reason you were formulating your analysis. Is that what you're saying?
Part of it, but not all of it. Not what you said about the law that came out. I had no idea about that.
That they may put it. Okay, so sorry, I don't know if I missed that earlier in the video. What was the reason you felt? I know a lot of people talk about left translated cycle, and it would be faster. This wasn't, a shocker. A lot of people have been tossing it around. But why? What was your feeling? What would end it so early? I didn't ask you that earlier in the video.
It was. Let's just when we had the double top, which I also called.
You did. He did.
I did. I just felt that it was just a whole bunch of things. Okay. So one thing was interest rates. I was expecting them to cut them after a massive rise.
And they waited a lot longer. You didn't expect them to hold it this long. Is that what you were thinking?
Well, they went up a lot, but when you usually cut interest rates after you raise them, usually you go into a recession. So my prediction wasn't
They just cut it.
Yeah. So they did. They did. It's not only that though. You have to have a few more factors.
Okay.
But one of the things was that the state of the economy, in the sense that everything was pushed up by the elections or will be pushed up by the elections.
Yeah.
Meaning that it will have a harder fall. Like the emperor without the clothes will come out after the election. Once I saw we were going up faster, I'm like, shit, we're going up faster. This is good. But again, I thought we were going to go up even faster and not fall. That was a good thing that we went down all this time. So don't think I called everything. It's just a whole bunch of things put together. Every time we have a bull market, or every time we have everything, everyone looks for what's going to be the same. I'm always looking for what's going to be different.
What's going to be different? Okay.
And that's also how the bottom call was put, like the position where everybody got wrecked. What's going to be different this time? Because most people will get wrecked, 95%, statistically. So what's the perfect thing that could happen? Well, a shorter bull market could be it, just because of everything else aligning.
Yeah.
Imagine Trump wins and everything goes sky high too fast. That would also be, a top.
100%.
Right?
100%. They're going to rain on. They would rain on his parade. Well, let me ask you a question. You just, when you made that 15-6 call, that was amazing, by the way, and it did go there. And I remember that video. I saw it after the fact because that's when I discovered you, and I went and saw that you had said that. It was amazing. And very few people had made that call in that range. Even Richard Hard, who's made some amazing calls in the past, he said 11K. A lot of people, even I think in that interview you did with Gareth was saying 12K, 10 to 12K. Yeah. And so you were saying this odd number that was very strange at the time to a lot of people. So you were in the small camp, that tiny group, maybe a couple other people might have said. So in this situation though, where we're calling the left translated cycle, we're saying an end of an early bull run, end of 2024, beginning of 2025. Well, at this point, a lot of people are saying that. So isn't that an issue now? We're not catching anybody off guard. Everyone wants to front run the recession, right?
I totally agree, and that's why I said that the fact that we were going down for so long since that top that came in early, that's plus thing. The fact that everyone's changing their tone now, that's another plus thing. Okay. And again, end of 2024, beginning 2025. It might even be mid 2025 where the top comes, but it might not happen. We don't know this. Like, this is something I was saying to watch out for. Mm-hmm. I wish I had more. This would have been epic if I said that, and then more things would be falling in place, and I could be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to call the top again this time, motherfuckers. But this time, it's just I can't. I'm not there yet.
It's messy.
I'm not there. It's not scary because I'm strategizing around both scenarios. I know my
messy. I said messy, not scary. Messy.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to take profits on levels. You want to take profits in time. So let's say 82K is around Christmas. Obviously, I'm taking profits. Let's say it's 98K beginning January or February. Obviously, I'm taking profits because we might go down as to what will look like a bear market, but it won't be. Right?
I thought of that too. I was thinking that
or
maybe
the top comes in.
Yeah.
Bitcoin starts going down, alts run. Bitcoin starts coming up, but this time it doesn't pass all-time highs. It falls short, goes back down. Altcoins always run a little bit more. So you do have the cycle to the end of 2025, but guess what? The top is still in beginning 2025, like I said.
Got you. Yeah.
And that's something I explained in one of my videos, that just don't take it just because it might be the top doesn't mean it's the end.
Right. You still could have a big altcoin run at that.
Exactly.
ETH will run at that point. Yeah.
Even Bitcoin might do a triple top under the all-time high and not exceed the all-time high, making it a bear market without nobody knowing, a bear market in disguise as a bull. It's possible. So
100%. Anything's possible.
Because no one's thinking about this now, that suddenly becomes my scenario of one of the things I'm trying to find that's going to be different.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm trying to find what's going to be history rhymes, right? So what's going to be different this time?
What's going to be different? Well, I see you talking about, mass, mad fuckery to the upside, and no one knows where that is, but no one's talking about mass fuckery to the downside, like you said, there's three sides of the coin. We hang out here, we can go up, we can also go down.
Yeah. Where will most people get wrecked?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. That 95% of people that lose money, where are they going to be?
It's certainly not to the upside. I mean, unless there's that many shorts built up, where I doubt. And
when we start going up, everyone thinks it's going to go up forever.
So
think about it. Every single top.
Oh yeah, it's true.
When Bitcoin starts doing this, just going up like crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, this is never going to end. Oh, say hello to my dog. Hello, Hutton.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
Hey.
Oh, it's the first time I've seen your dog.
Really?
I think so.
Dude,
I know you've had a dog, but hey, what's up, buddy? Oh, it's huge.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, pup?
Boy.
Right on, man.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I love him.
Good family.
He likes Dogecoin. It's funny because when I first started,
you like Dogecoin too. You're very bullish on Dogecoin.
Oh yeah, dude! I was getting donations in Dogecoin for the when I first bought them, just for fun, getting him cookies and stuff. But this was before Elon Musk. Before I was calling on Dogecoin like crazy.
Yeah. If you have another minute, now that I just remembered meme coins, because I know you love meme coins. Really quick, we saw the dog. It's Dogecoin. You love Dogecoin. I know you've mentioned Brett on base. So, what do you think about all the mascots on Layer 1? Pulse Chain has Teddy Bear, adorable.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Bear Token, which is the mascot of Pulse Chain. I think that could even put a good run for Brett. But yeah, Brett, Doge. You mentioned. I know you like Pepe, and
all right. So here's we called Pepe as well in the beginning.
You did call Pepe.
I know it sounds like I did this, I did that. Everyone's like,
what price did you call Brett? Because you were talking about Brett too, but I missed your early call on that.
So when it comes to meme coins, I'll say this: it changed a little bit. Why did it change a little bit? Before it was as simple because you would say, okay, you're on Ethereum. You want meme coins on Ethereum. And when they started going to other chains, it was very easy for me to call meme coins on Ethereum because I said, look, it's too easy on Solana. So the reduction of the fees and everything made it too easy. So everybody could just take profits, sell, and buy very easily. While before on Ethereum, because of the fees, it wouldn't make sense to sell early. So you were given more time for it to go up and take profits. Yeah. So I mastered that, and I made a lot of money on meme coins on Ethereum because of that, because I knew whales would come, it would be expensive to do, it would take time. So it was it was a better investment. Quotation marks. Now, when Solana came in play and everything, everybody and their mother started releasing meme coins. Like, it takes 15 minutes to release a meme coin now. You had automated bots making meme coins, same pages, AI doing the meme coin pages and everything. 17 everyone was just rugging everybody. And everybody thought that we had an alt season back then, and I called it a mini alt season because everything was in memes. And I remember saying to everyone, listen, this is manipulation. It's whales using meme coins to take your money because it's not retail. Retail is not here. And this is why you're only seeing certain sectors go up and certain meme coins and nothing else. So it was all a way to get money off people in crypto. So, and then everyone started doing it and the mother. And that's when I stopped meme coins. Now, with that said, there are some exceptions that we can talk about. One, and I'll talk about Pulse in a second. I'll lead into it. Doge is the king of meme coins. It just makes sense to hold it. Plus the Elon Musk thing and everything that could happen, but it's community. It's proof of concept, like we said, time in the market.
It's been around, yeah.
Community, right? Now you have DRC20 tokens built on Doge as well at some point. Okay. Let's not get too technical. Let's just keep it to Doge.
Okay.
Then you have, for example, Pepe, which I said will take market share from Shiba Inu, which it did, and I think it still will. Because in every market cycle, call it what you will, there's always a challenger to something. So if Ethereum was going to challenge Bitcoin, Shiba challenged Doge at some point. Well, now who's going to challenge Shiba? So I picked Pepe. So far, I was right. Let's see what happens. We don't know.
Pepe's done great. Yeah.
Brett is not so much of a meme coin play as a chain play for Base. So Base is by Coinbase, and if you want to bet on the chain, Brett would be something to get in on the chain as its meme coin.
Brett's been holding up amazing.
Yes.
I mean,
and that was a good call,
Lord.
and I think it's going to go up a lot more.
Oh, man.
Foxy on Linea Network, I don't know if people know this, is the chain by MetaMask. Yeah, it's MetaMask. So, and Foxy MetaMask, the wallet.
Yeah. MetaMask.
Foxy, the meme coin, is the Fox from MetaMask. So buying the meme coin Foxy is a bet on Linea chain, not just. And I know it's just a meme coin, but the concept is it's a chain play. It's getting early on a chain that could do well later on.
Is this it?
Yeah, I think it's it. I guess so. Yeah.
So this would be a good entry. Yeah.
Very good entry. That looks like a nice little inverse heads and shoulders as well.
Yep.
Down the
left
bottom.
shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah.
Right? Even the bigger one, if you look at it, like if you go down to September, where you drew that line, that could also be, it's not really a cup and handle, but okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Sorry, the screen is small because of the eCam thing that you're using.
Is it small? Oh, shit.
Yeah, for me it is, yeah.
Oh, for you it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Looking
so
good. Good entry.
So a good play for that.
Yeah.
You got a couple of them that can be your, if this goes up, it makes me rich. You put like $100 in it, and if it does well, like for example, what was one I was looking at here? Let me have a look real quick.
74 million. Show you Bear. Bear's at 20 million.
Meme coins. Yeah, PayPay is another one. And PayPay it's a speculation for a Chinese meme coin. There's like the utility is it's red instead of green, and it's a Chinese. I just think it's funny, and I think people might run behind it once PayPay starts making a move as well.
How do you spell the PayPay?
PEIPEI.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Right?
Yeah, I like that. PayPay. Okay, let's check it out. Here's it at ETH.
Just a Chinese Pepe, whatever. Then you have Dog with Hat, which I was in for a while as well, which I think is going to do very well in Solana. Right?
Dog with Hat's awesome. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I like the vibe.
That's my long-term portfolio of meme coins. Basically, that's why I told people to get. Right? Now, is the Bear the first meme coin on Pulse Chain?
There are. It is one of the ones that is connected to liquidity bonded all over the chain. So we think it's like the original OGEA.
All right, good. So there's a lot of backing and stuff like that. So Bear
like could be,
Bear could be a play. It could be a play on the Pulse Chain ecosystem in general.
I think so. Yeah. I think
so. I would definitely, if I was going to get in anything right now on Pulse Chain, it would be Bear, because if the chain is the mistake and it doesn't work out, at least you have the meme coin narrative, which might do well. It's a risky play, but a good play.
The meme coin looks great, like the vibe, it has all the elements of humor and likability. I mean, it just looks great. Chart looks fantastic.
Well, wait. How when did this get released?
This came out August 2023.
So it's been a year.
Yeah.
All right. So you can't really do technical analysis because there's no price history. You need more than that. But as an overview, yeah, I see what you're doing. As a launch, maybe looking at how that's playing out. Yeah, it does look good. I do agree with the box you put there. That is a sign that it might do well and break. Yeah. So I don't agree with doing technical analysis to new projects with no price history, but you can do an overview like you did and say, oh, okay, this is, okay, fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a year, so like it was like a month or something. Like sometimes people do technical analysis on things that just launched. Like, what are you doing?
Right. I talk about that in my videos sometimes. Like, it's tough. Like it's brand new.
You know what it is? YouTubers, and I understand this, that do technical analysis on their channel. They have to do it every day, and they have to do it because that's what people want to hear, and that's how they get viewership, right? The problem is that because they're doing it daily to get views or a few times a week, the problem is this falls into day trading, and no one's a day trader. Because if they were day traders, they wouldn't be watching the video. So they get all this emotion about it going up on this pocket and that pocket, and they end up calling TA a scam and not understanding it and getting wrecked, while the YouTuber doesn't have a choice. He has to do TA every day. I do TA every week or every 2 weeks on my channel, or sometimes even a month. Whoever listens, that's great. But I don't try and grab views with my TA.
Yeah.
And when I do TA, I usually do technical overview. I don't, because TA takes hours.
Like that. I like that about you, because one thing I tell people in crypto is like all these influencers that you follow that were charting like crazy, that had 100 indicators up, that did the blah, blah, blah. How much did that help you? Nope. It didn't help you that much, did it? Yeah. Because people tell me like, oh, your TA is simple. It's like, bro, trust me. Once you've been through
simple is better.
It's better, man. You don't need all those indicators. You're not trading to the pip. There's not enough liquidity. Like you just, it's a bull market, man. Like it's emotional and unpredictable, and you don't need to know all that much. Like,
All right, look, how long have you been doing TA for?
2 years.
Okay, good. It takes 2-3 years to start learning TA.
I'm now just kidding.
If you're doing the basics for 2 years,
I've been doing it longer than 2 years, but 2 years where I feel comfortable. Like,
right. Well, 2 years, but you're doing the basics. Bruce Lee said, "I fear the man that does 10,000. It does one kick 10,000 times rather than 10,000 different kinds of kicks." So you've been doing this simply for years. You get to see things that you can't even explain to people.
Yes, like in the first 2 years, I was using every fucking indicator, and my charts were like a fucking disaster. And now I'm super simple, and I draw I have certain boxes I draw, and I know they always get respected. Like I just understand.
Exactly. No, I agree with you, man. And that's a perfect box that you draw, in my opinion.
And I would do it a little
bit lower. I would do it a little bit lower to get the highs on the left side to get. I would do it. I'll just do it a tad a little bit less, just because I'm more conservative. And then look at the psychological numbers if there were psychological numbers. But again, there's no price history. You can't really.
There's not enough, right? And I wasn't convinced that it would come down and touch these because it already it didn't even barely entered even the box. So my intuition was like, technically, it would touch this, but I'm like, it ain't gonna fill this whole green. It ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. I got you. But
eventually, it might come back. I mean, there's good structure here.
No, it looks like if it can go up and go, it looks like it's going to re-challenge all-time highs.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it will. I'll tell you right now on this video. I think it's going to re-challenge all-time highs as long as meme coins come back and there's a narrative play and things work out, because there's different scenarios, right? And I think it's going to go higher than that. I think it's going to go into blue sky breakout. It's a meme coin on Pulse. It's going to be driven by the community.
And all the other meme coin traders.
Definitely think it's going to. I think it's going to probably outperform other things on Pulse. If I were to do one thing on Pulse, this would be it. Yeah, I'd go just this, nothing else.
Yeah. 100%. I'm with you on that. And I do see other, Brett's already holding almost close to $1 billion. And I think other meme coin traders are going to look for these. They've seen a trend of the mascots or the memes of every layer going into
You don't need a
unbelievable
lot of
numbers.
people coming in because the same community that are bullish on Pulse Chain, which are very, very, very passionate, will try and put more money in.
Oh, for sure.
And they're going to put in, and that's so. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
It will go up. It will. Yeah, it doesn't matter if other people like. You'll put more money within the chain, as long as they don't get pissed off and they start giving up, which is a possibility. But let's see what happens. No, I would go all in. If I could choose one coin on Pulse Chain, this would be it. Will I do it? I don't know. I'm not telling you I'm going to go buy Teddy Bear right now. But if I was to choose, this would be it right now, man. And glad you brought this to my attention. I might even talk about it.
Oh, very cool, man. Yeah, because look, it's only a $20 million market cap right now. And the memes we've been seeing, the mascots on every chain just going ballistic. So, I mean, I think when this rips, it could be quite a ripper. And you're right. I think if there's one thing you're going to look at on Pulse Chain, maybe this should be the one. And then if you're really degen and you like the narrative of the stable coin with pDAI, which I do, I think it's really something cool. I'll just show you the chart really quick. I think that could be another degen play. Let me switch out a lot.
Well, you would with pDAI, you would sell close to $1, or as it's going up to $1 for people hoping it's going to reach there because it has to, right? But there's nothing that's keeping it there at $1 after that.
There's some mechanics that are possibly going to be in play. Maybe we'll have to do another video on that, but
maybe maybe I have to learn and see.
There's a lot involved going on here with the pDAI.
But it would definitely. Well, let me rephrase what I'm saying.
It's a heated narrative.
It would definitely have to prove it. And in order to prove it, it has to get there, meaning chances are that it will get there are there. There's a chance it will get there. Again, I would prefer the meme coin. I would prefer Teddy Bear. But as a play, it might be interesting as well.
Yeah, because we have a target. And, people will I think they'll take a lot of profits, maybe up to 50 cents. I think people that hold past 50, they're not going to sell at 60, 70. They're going to hold, I think, because once it gets up there to peg it, obviously, the Heartman would probably use the Pulse Chain ecosystem to collateralize with the PMaker, MakerDAO, to hold it there. And there's really great math there, and it's really simple, actually. And it really could hold. And there'll also be stablecoin farms by that point to incentivize people to stake their dollar stablecoin and earn yield on it, which you would do if, let's say, you bought 1 million pDAI, which right now is only going to cost you not very much, and it held. You could just stake that, but it's all speculation.
Just be careful with staking. I mean, we saw what happens.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, right?
Always have two bags, right? A staking and a non-staking.
Fair enough. Yeah, you learn a lot of these lessons the longer you're in crypto. I've had too many sleepless nights, and I'm I just want to learn from the smartest people I can, and mostly so I can sleep and not have anxiety, because it just gets crazier and crazier, man.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. In hospital, like trying to look at my phone at my portfolio back then, man, dying. My portfolio.
You must be the master of dealing with stress of anybody, man. And maybe we'll just do another video with you where we just talk about stress management.
Yes,
and life skills.
As long as it's not my girlfriend. My girlfriend can piss me off in a heart second. Like literally, I've broken up the house.
Women will always do that.
She knows I'm not going to hit her. She knows all your. She knows all your buttons. Yeah. So with her, all your buttons. She can always piss me off, like anytime, like very easily.
Well, Paul, this has been an amazing stream, man, and I can't thank you enough for sharing all this alpha with us. And I know we got a million other questions, but maybe another time. What do you want to say? Do you want people to reach out to you? Obviously, I'll put your links down below. Any closing thoughts?
Check out the channel. See if you like my style. See if you like what you like. And if I offer some value, if you actually get some value, I'm not just saying that, then subscribe. If not, it's okay. It's not for everyone. And that's not a takeaway close. I'm literally saying that it's not for everyone. Don't feel bad. You have to go subscribe. No, it's okay. Just come check out a video too. If you like it, stay. If not, It's okay. There are many great channels out there that you can learn from.
I think
Including
that's
this one.
understatement. The Crypto Factor is an awesome channel, tons of alpha. Definitely go check it out, guys. Paul, thank you so much. And maybe we'll touch base again in a few months. Let's see how things are playing out. Yeah.
Anytime, man. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep succeeding.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.